Update 6.2 is now live, or it will be soon as I uploaded this video slightly early, and it's time to go through the full list of patch notes. There are some decent changes in the video, the new content I really like, but on the other hand there isn't too much in the way of performance improvements, quality of life improvements, and so on. Now, one of the biggest issues in game at the minute is problems with crashing, and that has not been fixed either in this update, but is under investigation, so expect to see that fixed at the end of the month. One thing that has been fixed though is Miramar has returned back into rotation after being removed last week due to an issue. So we have a lot to get through in this video, and we're going to jump straight into the patch notes, starting with the biggest additions to the game, Team Deathmatch. I don't know about you guys, but I have really enjoyed playing Team Deathmatch on the PTS. I like the maps which are varied, the loadouts could use some work, so maybe we could customize them a little bit. I'm sure that will change over time, and so far I haven't had any issues with getting into matches either. And for me, one of the biggest features that I do like is that it is first person perspective only, which is a nice change of pace, especially since I play on the EU servers and it's impossible to get a match in the first person game. Moving on to the next big feature added, and that is cross-party play. This was one of the main reasons for the delay in the update because of a bug in the database migration of that. What is cross-party play? Well, you can now party up essentially with players on other platforms. Before, you could play with other players on PC and PS4 or Xbox, depending on your platform, but you couldn't squad up with them. But now you can party up with players on any of the platforms. To go with the change, the friends list has had a makeover showing 4 different tabs. The platform, this shows your existing friends list for your current platform. Players you add to the platform specific friend list using their Xbox gamer tag, PSN name will show here. The PUBG tab, this is a new friends list which will help you organize your friends across platforms using cross-platform parties. Players can now add friends by selecting follow when looking at another player's profile. Recent, this shows players you've met as a team in recent matches, and team shows your current teammates. Next up, a waypoint feature has been added to help you make more strategic plans using routes set on the map. This includes when in squads where the waypoints will show up. This is particularly useful in the EU servers, for example, where voice chat is non-existent at times, or you have many different languages, so it can be tough to coordinate. But this feature should help you make a better strategic plan if you're playing solo or if you were playing with a team. Finally guys, they have added a parachute follow feature to the game so that squads can stick together more easily. And when you're in the drop plane, you can choose who to follow in your team. So those are all of the new additions to the game, but there are plenty of changes to existing features, and we're going to take a look starting with grenades, which have been overhauled. We'll start with frag grenades. Vests now mitigate damage received from frag grenades, and the amount depends on the level of the vest worn by the player, with the same percentage reduction as for bullet damage. So a level 3 vest will protect you better than a level 1 vest, but unlike bullet damage though, vest durability won't be affected by grenade blasts. I'm not sure why they did this, but for now they've decided against that being a feature. I guess they probably just wanted to keep it in line with the other throwables such as the Molotov, which don't do damage to your vest. Then we have frag grenades will deal 20% less damage to prone players, meaning if you're prone and have a level 3 vest on, then you stand the biggest chance of surviving a grenade blast. The item weight has increased by 50%, each frag grenade takes 27 inventory capacity, which is up from 18. I know they said it's 50%, but that's not quite 50%, basically making it so players can have less of them in game. Finally, pulling a pin and a frag grenade is now louder and more audible from further away, so your enemies can have a bit more of a warning. Moving on to smoke grenades, just one change here, decrease diffuse time from 3 seconds to 1 second, and that makes sense since you don't really need much of a delay for a smoke grenade. To stun grenades, they've increased indirect hit effect radius up to 6.5 meters, which was previously 5.5 meters. The ringing sound now impacts players through walls. They've added a slight camera shake to players near explosions, and changes to the fuse timer mean that stuns now explode 0.7 seconds after impact, or after the fuser timer runs out, whichever comes first. The fuse time without cooking has been increased to 5 seconds, while the cooking timer remains at 2.5 seconds. That leaves us with the Molotov Cocktail. increased the speed at which fire spreads by 50%, and fires can now spread slightly further, with an increased damage radius, and this will make fires more deadly. They've changed the way fires spread around objects as well. Before, hiding behind a tree for example could save you from a fire, but a new mechanic to make fire spread around objects will make it more realistic and deadly. It also makes fires less obstructed by small objects on the ground, say a small rock or even a piece of furniture in a house, and also it makes fires more capable of reaching higher areas. Finally, to Molotovs, they've reintroduced direct damage while standing in a fire. Players will take damage from being on fire, and will take an additional 10 damage per second if you're standing in a fire. Lastly, frag and stun grenade visual effects have been updated alongside a more realistic frag grenade sound. Next up, they have adjusted the blue zone, but in appearance only. They haven't adjusted anything to do with the timings of the blue zone, that still stays the same. So the distortion effect has been removed. They've altered the effects where the blue zone meets the ground to make it clearly more visible where the blue zone edge is. They've lowered the top wall of the blue zone, updated the visual shaders. Effects will become more intense as the phases progress through the match, and they've changed the sound for entering and exiting the blue zone. We have a couple more changes to in-game stuff. Karakin has had a loot adjustment, so more meds, less bandages, less snipers and DMRs, and the Win94 as well. But the G36C and MP5K have been added, and it's all to add a little more risk versus reward to the map. Like with all loot adjustments, they will be tweaked again, I'm sure, based on player feedback. Finally, right peeking and leaning has been adjusted to work the same as left peeking and leaning. Moving on then, a new PUBG Labs has been added to test out skill-based match ratings, and the feature will be pretty standard if you've played Overwatch or Apex Legends, and I know a lot of you have, so you should know what to expect. You play placement matches, in this case it's going to be 5, and then you're given a rank. You're then matched with players close to your rank, and you can try to gain RP to reach the highest rank possible. In this case, it's Platinum 4. The maximum RP for Platinum 4 is 5,000, and you gain RP through survival and getting kills, but they've also made it so assists will give you some RP, and friendly fire will give you negative RP. But like always, PUBG Labs is optional, and you don't have to opt in to test out the feature if you don't want to. Next, a quick note on matchmaking. Unfortunately, the addition of the featured map queue has had a negative impact on matchmaking time, and as a result, they have removed the featured map queue and moved Karakin into the random map queue. It's not what everyone wanted to hear, but at the end of the day, they put matchmaking times above anything else. That leaves us then, guys, with all the smaller changes and fixes to the game, and I'm going to quickly go through these for you. To user interface and user experience, the key guide text displayed on the starting island has been modified. It will be displayed in nouns just like other options which have no direct effect on gameplay. Added a brightness adjustment for Karakin. Xbox players can now leave the squad in the lobby without going into Friends tab. News and banner interface will show dots at the bottom to indicate how many banners are registered. And the terms and services and privacy policy will be separated on PS4 and added on Xbox One. To performance, this has been optimized with additional world origin shift optimizations, and like I said at the very beginning, they're still working on improving crashes. To custom matches, Erangel Classic has been deleted. To the Survivor Pass Shakedown, the second track of Survivor Pass missions has been unlocked along with 4 new Karakin exclusive missions. So the list of missions is survive for more than 3 minutes on Karakin, destroy 2 destructible walls with sticky bombs, survive 2 times in the black zone, and drop onto the landmark area once. A change to weapon mastery that has been rebalanced. Early levels of weapon mastery now require less XP to earn. As a result of this change, players may find that some of their weapon mastery levels are slightly higher than before. To skins and items, they've improved the parachute backpack model redesign, and that will be applied to all parachute skins. And finally, bug fixes. They have fixed the following. After certain steps, the breath gauge recovers instantly when a character comes out of the water. Loot boxes were blocking explosions of grenades. Issues with the care package not providing cover from grenade explosion. Headshot blood effects block vision in first person perspective. And when you press the hotkey to consume a healing and boost item several times in a row, at the same time you pick it up, the item was consumed without seeing its proper animation. To the world, edges of some objects became transparent when too close to the blue zone, and overall bug fixes on Erangel and Karakin. To skins and items, when a female character wearing the Raptor Squad gloves with tattoo sleeve, the wrist looked transparent, and a visual issue with character model arms when wearing the Tenebras combat vest has been fixed. To user interface, occasionally in replay the minimap wouldn't display certain players, and in replay mode grid lines of world and minimaps are displayed based off of 8x8 maps. Finally, to sound, the explosion SFX for the sticky bomb was louder than intended. Alright guys, that is all of the changes made in the 6.2 update out now for Xbox and PS4. What do you think of the update? Let me know in the comments. For me, the addition of TDM is a feature I wanted to see since PUBG released, and it's finally here, and I personally think it's a lot of fun. You might feel differently, but I have enjoyed every match so far. I will be back, of course, with more videos as soon as there's any news for PUBG or other games like Modern Warfare. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see all of you guys next time. Peace out.